A young girl's dream of love hides a deadly secret in Dubai's glittering shadows. Zara stepped off the plane, her heart pounding with reckless hope. The Dubai air hit her like a furnace, thick with desert heat. Glass towers loomed above, their reflections blinding in the relentless sun. She clutched her phone, rereading Amir's last message. "Meet me tonight." His words felt like a promise, sweet as jasmine on a summer breeze. Zara, barely 20, had met him online 6 months ago. Amir, a charming millionaire, showered her with gifts and attention. His voice, smooth as velvet, echoed in her dreams nightly. She left London behind, chasing a love she barely understood. The airport buzzed with voices, a chaotic symphony of languages. Perfume and sweat mingled, sharp in her nostrils. Her sandals clicked on the polished marble floor, echoing faintly. A driver in a crisp suit held a sign with her name. She followed him, her stomach twisting with nervous excitement. The black SUV gleamed, its leather seats cool against her skin. Dubai's skyline unfolded, a dazzling maze of steel and ambition. Palm trees swayed, their fronds whispering secrets in the breeze. She imagined Amir's smile, his dark eyes locking onto hers. The car stopped at a hotel, its facade dripping with gold. Crystal chandeliers sparkled, casting rainbows across the lobby. Her room overlooked the city, a sea of lights below. She showered, the water scalding, washing away her doubts. Her dress, a gift from Amir, shimmered like liquid sapphire. She applied makeup, her hands trembling with anticipation. The mirror reflected a stranger, bold yet fragile. Amir's text arrived. Penthouse, 8 o'clock, where the necklace, a diamond teardrop, felt heavy around her neck. She rode the elevator, its hum a low, ominous drone. The doors opened to a hallway, dim and eerily silent. Her heels sank into plush carpet, muffling her steps. Amir's penthouse door was ajar, a sliver of light spilling out. She knocked softly, her pulse racing like a trapped bird. No answer came, only the faint hum of music inside. She pushed the door open, her breath catching sharply. The room was vast, all glass and gleaming marble. Candles flickered, casting shadows that danced like ghosts. A table was set, crystal glasses glinting with menace. "Amir?" she called, her voice swallowed by the silence. A faint scent of oud lingered, heavy and intoxicating. Her eyes darted to a photo on the mantel. Amir smiled in it, his arm around a woman. The woman's face was serene, her eyes hauntingly familiar. Zara's chest tightened, a cold dread creeping in. She stepped closer, her fingers brushing the frame. The woman wore a ring, identical to Amir's. Her mind spun, questions clawing at her thoughts. Was this a sister? A cousin? A friend? The necklace felt tighter, like a noose on her skin. Footsteps echoed behind her, sharp and deliberate. She turned, her heart lurching into her throat. Amir stood there, his smile cold as desert night. "You came," he said, his voice smooth but edged. Her eyes flicked his hand, gripping something small. A key, ornate and old, glinted in the candlelight. "Where is she?" Zara asked, her voice barely steady. His smile faltered, a crack in his perfect mask. "You ask too many questions," he murmured softly. He stepped closer, his shadow swallowing her reflection. The room felt smaller, the air thick with danger. Her gaze darted to the photo again, heart racing. The woman's eyes seemed to plead, silent and desperate. Zara's phone buzzed, shattering the tense silence. A message from an unknown number flashed on screen. "Get out now. He is not who you think." Her blood ran cold, her fingers trembling violently. Amir's eyes narrowed, his hand tightening on the key. "Who is texting you?" he asked, his tone sharp. She stepped back, her heel catching on the rug. The candles flickered, shadows twisting like vipers. "I need to leave," she said, voice barely audible. His laugh was low, a sound that chilled her bones. "You just arrived," he said, stepping closer still. The key in his hand gleamed, sharp and menacing. Her eyes scanned the room, seeking an escape. Glass walls trapped her, reflecting her growing panic. The city sparkled below, indifferent to her fear. A faint sound came from behind a closed door. A muffled cry, soft but unmistakably human. Zara froze, her breath hitching in her chest. Amir's face darkened, his eyes cold as stone. "You hear nothing," he said, his voice a warning. Her instinct screamed, urging her to run. But her feet felt rooted, heavy as lead. The cry came again, faint but piercing. It was a woman, trapped somewhere close. Zara's mind raced, piecing together clues. The photo of the ring, the mysterious message. Amir's charm hid something sinister, something wrong. Her hand gripped her phone, her only lifeline. She backed toward the door, heart pounding wildly. Amir moved faster, his hand seizing her wrist. His grip was iron, bruising her soft skin. "You stay," he hissed, his breath hot and sour. The key dangled, its purpose still unclear. Her eyes locked on his, searching for truth. Behind his charm lurked a darkness, cold and deep. The muffled cry grew louder, more desperate. Zara's fear surged, a wave crashing inside her. She twisted free, stumbling toward the door. Her hand reached the handle, slick with sweat. Amir lunged, his shadow looming like a storm. The door swung open, revealing a dimly lit hall. She ran, her dress catching on her heels. The elevator was there, its doors sliding shut. She slipped inside, her breath ragged and sharp. The penthouse faded, but the cry echoed still. Her phone buzzed again, another message appearing. "He hides her in the locked room." Zara's heart sank, her mind reeling with horror. Who was she? Why was she trapped? The elevator descended, each floor a fleeting hope. Amir's face haunted her, his smile a lie. The necklace burned against her skin, a heavy weight. She tore it off, letting it fall to the floor. The doors opened, the lobby bright and bustling. She stepped out, her legs weak but moving. The city's pulse thrummed, alive and uncaring. Zara glanced back, half expecting Amir to follow. No one came, but the fear remained. Her phone buzzed once more, a final warning. Do not trust him. She is still alive. Her knees buckled, the words searing her mind. The woman in the photo, the cry, the key. Amir's secret was alive, locked away upstairs. Zara's breath caught, her world tilting dangerously. She stumbled outside, the night air biting her skin. Dubai's lights blurred, a kaleidoscope of dread. Her dream of love was a trap, unraveling fast. She hailed a taxi, her voice shaking but firm. The driver sped off, the city fading behind. Her phone stayed silent, but the message lingered. Someone knew Amir's secret, and now so did she. The truth was close, but danger closer still. She clutched her bag, her heart a frantic drum. The road stretched on, leading to the unknown. Zara's journey had just begun, dark and uncertain. Zara's taxi sped through Dubai's neon veins, her heart still racing. The city's glow pulsed, a false promise of safety. Streetlights flickered, casting shadows that clawed at her nerves. Her phone vibrated, its screen a harsh glare in the dark. Another message flashed. He knows you left. Stay hidden. Her breath hitched, the words tightening her chest. The driver's eyes flicked to her in the rearview mirror. His silence felt heavy, like he knew too much. She gripped her bag, its leather slick with sweat. The taxi stopped at a small, dimly lit hostel. Its sign flickered, buzzing like a trapped insect. She paid quickly, her fingers fumbling with cash. The hostel smelled of stale coffee and damp carpet. Her room was cramped, walls stained with time. A single bulb swayed, casting jagged shadows. She locked the door, its click sharp and final. Her phone buzzed again, the screen cold against her palm. Checked the news. His wife disappeared last year. Zara's stomach churned, bowel rising in her throat. She opened her phone, fingers trembling on the screen. A headline screamed, "Millionaire's wife vanishes without trace." The article mentioned Amir, his name in bold. His wife, Layla, was last seen at their penthouse. Zara's mind flashed to the locked room's cry. Was Layla alive, trapped behind that door? Her hands shook, the phone nearly slipping free. The hostel's walls creaked, groaning under unseen weight. She paced the room, her footsteps muffled on threadbare rugs. The air was thick, heavy with mildew and fear. She needed answers, but danger clung to every thought. Her phone lit up again, another anonymous text. Go to the souk. Find a man with the red scarf. Her pulse quickened, curiosity warring with dread. The souk was nearby, a maze of vibrant chaos. She pulled on a scarf, hiding her trembling hands. The night air was warm, thick with spice and smoke. She stepped outside, the hostel door slamming shut. The souk's lights glimmered, a kaleidoscope of colors. Vendors shouted, their voices sharp and relentless. The scent of saffron and roasted nuts swirled around her. Her sandals crunched on gravel, uneven beneath her feet. She scanned the crowd, searching for the red scarf. Faces blurred, eyes watching her every move. A man bumped her, his touch cold and deliberate. She flinched, her heart pounding like a drum. The souk's alleys twisted, narrowing with each step. Lanterns swung, casting flickering shadows on stone walls. Her breath came fast, shallow and unsteady. A flash of red caught her eye, vibrant and bold. A man stood ahead, his scarf bright as blood. His eyes locked on hers, sharp and knowing. She approached, her throat dry as desert sand. You're Zara, he said, his voice low and urgent. She froze, her skin prickling with unease. How do you know my name? She asked. He gestured to a shadowed corner, away from the crowd. Her instinct screamed, but her feet followed. The alley smelled of dust and forgotten things. He leaned close, his breath warm and sour. Amir is dangerous, he whispered, eyes darting around. Layla found out his secret and paid for it. Zara's heart sank, the words heavy as stone. What secret? She asked, her voice barely audible. He glanced back, his scarf slipping slightly. A scar ran down his neck, jagged and raw. He trades in lies, he said, voice tight. People disappear when they get too close. Her mind raced, the penthouse cry echoing again. The man pulled out a small, worn notebook. Its pages were yellowed, edges frayed and torn. Take this, he said, pressing it into her hands. It's hers, Layla's. Read it carefully. The notebook felt heavy, pulsing with secrets. She slipped it into her bag, hands trembling. Who are you? She asked, voice shaking. He shook his head, eyes dark with fear. Someone who failed her, he said softly. Footsteps echoed nearby, heavy and fast. The man stiffened, his scarf tightening around his neck. Go now, he hissed, pushing her back. She stumbled, the crowd swallowing her whole. The souk's noise roared, a chaotic, living beast. Her heart pounded, the notebook burning in her bag. She weaved through stalls, dodging vendors and lights. The air was thick, clogging her lungs with spice. A hand grazed her shoulder, cold and fleeting. She spun, but no one was there. Her phone buzzed, the screen flashing again. He's watching. Don't go back to the hostel. Panic surged, her legs moving on instinct. She ducked into an alley, its walls closing in. The stones were cool, slick with evening dew. Her breath echoed, loud in the narrow space. The notebook pressed against her hip, a silent weight. She opened it, her fingers trembling with dread. Layla's handwriting was neat, but frantic. Pages detailed Amir's deals, coded and vague. Names, dates, and numbers filled every line. One word stood out, circled in red. Trafficking. Zara's blood ran cold, her knees nearly buckling. Was Amir trading people, not just lies? Her mind spun, the souk's noise fading away. Layla's notes mentioned a warehouse by the docks. Zara's heart raced, the truth clawing closer. She needed to see it, to know for sure. The alley opened to a quiet street. Taxis idled, their engines a low, steady hum. She flagged one, her voice sharp with urgency. To the docks, she said, climbing inside. The driver nodded, his eyes hidden in shadow. The city blurred past, a smear of light and steel. Her fingers traced a notebook, its secrets alive. The docks loomed ahead, dark and sprawling. Cranes stood like sentinels, their silhouettes menacing. The air smelled of salt and rusted metal. She paid the driver, her hands cold and clammy. The warehouse was massive, its doors sealed tight. A faint light glowed through a cracked window. Her heart pounded, each beat a warning. She crept closer, gravel crunching underfoot. The notebook mentioned a side entrance, unmarked. She found it, a rusted door barely ajar. Her hand pushed it, the metal cold and rough. It creaked open, revealing a cavernous space. Crates loomed, stacked high like silent giants. A faint whimper echoed, soft but chilling. Zara's breath caught, her body frozen in place. The sound came again, closer this time. Her eyes adjusted, shapes forming in the dark. A figure moved, small and hunched in shadow. Her phone vibrated, the screen a sudden glow. Leave now. He's coming for you. Her heart stopped. The air turned to ice. Footsteps echoed, heavy and deliberate, behind her. She turned, the notebook slipping from her grasp. A silhouette stood in the doorway, tall and familiar. Amir's voice cut through the dark, smooth and deadly. You shouldn't have come here, Zara. Her scream caught her throat, silenced by fear. The warehouse walls seemed to close in. The whimper grew louder, desperate and near. Zara's eyes darted, searching for an escape. The truth was here, but so was danger. Zara's breath froze as Amir's silhouette filled the warehouse doorway. His voice echoed, sharp and cold, cutting through the dark. The whimper from the shadows grew louder, desperate. Her eyes darted, searching for the source of the sound. Crates loomed around her, their wood rough and splintered. The air smelled of oil and salt, thick with dread. Amir stepped forward, his shoes clicking on concrete. Her heart pounded, a drumbeat in her chest. The notebook lay at her feet, pages splayed open. She lunged for it, her fingers scraping the floor. Amir's hand shot out, seizing her arm tightly. His grip was steel, bruising her trembling skin. You're too curious, Zara, he said, voice low. The whimper stopped, replaced by eerie silence. Her eyes flicked to the crates, shadows shifting within. Something moved, a figure small and frail. Her stomach twisted, fear clawing at her insides. Amir's eyes glinted, cold as the desert night. He pulled her closer, his breath hot and sour. The warehouse creaked, its walls groaning under weight. She twisted, her arm burning in his grasp. A crate toppled nearby, crashing with a deafening thud. Dust exploded, stinging her eyes and throat. Amir stumbled, his grip loosening for a moment. Zara broke free, her legs pumping with panic. She ran toward the crates, heart racing wildly. The shadows parted, revealing a girl bound and gagged. Her eyes were wide, filled with terror and tears. It was not Layla, but someone younger, fragile. Zara's blood ran cold, her mind reeling. The girl's wrists were raw, ropes cutting into skin. Zara knelt, her hands fumbling with the knots. The girl whimpered, her voice muffled by cloth. Footsteps echoed again, Amir closing in fast. Zara's fingers shook, the ropes stubborn and tight. The girl's eyes pleaded, silently begging for help. A metal clank rang out, sharp and jarring. Zara glanced back, Amir holding a crowbar now. His smile was gone, replaced by a snarl. She freed the girl's hands, her own slick with sweat. Run, Zara whispered, her voice barely audible. The girl stumbled up, her legs weak and unsteady. Zara pushed her toward a side exit, narrow and dark. The warehouse air was heavy, choking her lungs. Amir's footsteps grew louder, relentless and close. The girl slipped through the door, vanishing outside. Zara turned, facing Amir in the dim light. His crowbar gleamed, its edge sharp and cruel. You're making this harder, he said, voice calm. Her heart thundered, each beat shaking her core. She backed away, crates scraping her elbows. The floor was cold, gritty under her sandals. A distant siren wailed, faint but growing louder. Amir's head snapped toward the sound, eyes narrowing. Zara seized a moment, darting toward the exit. Her shoulder slammed into a crate, pain flaring. The door was close, its rusted frame beckoning. Amir lunged, the crowbar swinging toward her. She ducked, the metal whistling past her ear. Her hand grabbed the door, yanking it open. The night air hit her, cool and sharp. She ran, gravel crunching under her frantic steps. The dock stretched ahead, a maze of shadows. Cranes loomed above, their cables swaying like nooses. The siren grew louder, red lights flashing nearby. Her phone buzzed, vibrating against her hip. She ignored it, her legs burning with effort. Amir's voice called out, chilling and close. You cannot hide. Zara, I know the city. Her chest heaved, each breath a jagged gasp. She ducked behind a container, its metal cold. The sea's salt stung her lips, bitter and raw. Footsteps crunched nearby, slow and deliberate. Her heart stopped, her body pressed against steel. The notebook was gone, left in the warehouse. Its secrets burned in her mind, vivid and haunting. Layla's notes had hinted at more than trafficking. Coded words suggested something darker, more sinister. Zara's mind raced, piecing fragments together. The girl she freed was proof of Amir's crimes. But who was she and how many others? The siren stopped, replaced by shouting voices. Flashlights swept the docks, beams cutting through dark. Zara crouched lower, her pulse deafening in her ears. Amir's shadow passed, his steps slow and searching. Her phone buzzed again, insistent and loud. She silenced it, her fingers trembling with fear. A message glowed. Police are here. Stay low. Her breath caught, hope flickering in her chest. The flashlights moved closer, voices sharp and urgent. Amir's steps paused, then retreated quickly. She peered out, his figure fading into shadows. The police were near, their radios crackling loudly. Zara's legs ached, but she stayed still. The container's metal was cold, grounding her panic. A beam swept over, light grazing her hiding spot. She held her breath, her body rigid with fear. The light passed, voices fading into the distance. She exhaled, her chest tight with relief. The docks were quiet now, eerily still. Her phone lit up again, another anonymous message. Find the marina. Look for the black yacht. Her mind spun, the marina not far away. She stood, her legs shaky but moving. The night air was thick, heavy with salt. Her sandals slapped against pavement, echoing softly. The marina's lights glowed, a beacon in the dark. Yachts bobbed gently, their hulls gleaming under stars. She scanned for black, her eyes straining in moonlight. One yacht stood out, sleek and ominous. Its name was hidden, painted over in haste. Her heart raced, the notebook's clues resurfacing. Layla had mentioned a boat, a meeting place. Zara crept closer, the dock creaking underfoot. The yacht's deck was empty, but lights glowed inside. Voices murmured, low and tense, from within. Her skin prickled, fear mingling with curiosity. She crouched beside a crate, peering through shadows. A man's silhouette moved inside, tall and familiar. It was not a mirror, but someone else entirely. Her breath hitched, confusion flooding her mind. The man turned, his face catching the light. He was older, his eyes sharp and cruel. Her phone buzzed, the screen bright with warning. That is his partner. Do not trust him. Zara's heart sank, the web growing darker. Amir was not alone in his secrets. The yacht rocked gently, water lapping at its sides. The air smelled of diesel and seaweed, pungent. She backed away, her sandals silent on wood. The marina felt alive, watching her every move. Her mind raced, questions piling like storm clouds. Who was this man and what was his role? The girl she freed, the notebook, the yacht. Each clue tightened the noose around her. She turned to leave, her pulse hammering wildly. A hand grabbed her shoulder, firm and sudden. Her scream caught, stifled by a gloved palm. The man's voice was low, unfamiliar and cold. You're asking the wrong questions, girl. Her body froze, fear locking her limbs. The marina's lights blurred, her vision swimming. The hand tightened, pulling her into the dark. Her phone slipped, clattering onto the dock. The screen cracked, its light fading fast. The man's breath was hot, whispering in her ear, "Stop now or you'll end like her." Her heart pounded, the world spinning around her. The yacht loomed, its secrets just out of reach. Zara's fight was not over, but danger was closer. The stranger's gloved hand tightened, dragging Zara into Marina's shadows. Her heart pounded, each beat echoing in her ears. The yacht's lights flickered, casting eerie glows on the water. Salt air stung her nose, sharp and biting. Her feet scraped the dock, with splintering underfoot. The man's breath rasped, hot against her neck. She twisted, her elbow jabbing into his ribs. He grunted, his grip loosening for a second. Zara broke free, stumbling toward the yacht. Her phone lay shattered, its screen dark and useless. The marina was silent, save for lapping waves. She ducked behind a crate, its surface slimy with algae. Her chest heaved, breath ragged and shallow. The stranger's footsteps echoed, slow and deliberate. She peered out, his silhouette looming nearby. The yacht's deck creaked, someone moving inside. Her mind raced, Layla's notebook haunting her thoughts. Trafficking, lies, and now this mysterious partner. The stranger's voice hissed, low and menacing. "You cannot outrun this, Zara," he said. Her skin crawled, fear coiling like a snake. The crate's edge dug into her trembling hands. A faint light glowed from the yacht's cabin. She crept closer, her sandals silent on damp wood. The air smelled of diesel, thick and choking. Voices murmured inside, urgent and clipped. Her heart thumped, blood roaring in her veins. She reached the yacht's ladder, its metal cold. Her fingers gripped the rungs, slick with sea spray. She climbed, each step creaking under her weight. The deck was empty, but shadows danced below. She crouched, peering through a cracked window. 2 men stood inside, their faces half-lit. One was a stranger, his eyes sharp and cruel. The other was older, his voice strangely familiar. Her breath caught, recognition hitting like a shockwave. It was her uncle, David, long thought dead. Her knees buckled, the world tilting beneath her. David had vanished years ago, presumed lost. Now he stood here, alive, with Amir's partner. Her mind spun, memories clashing with reality. He had been kind, her child a protector. Yet his voice now carried a cold edge. "I told you to handle her," David said. The stranger nodded, his face tight with anger. Zara's heart sank, betrayal cutting like a knife. Her uncle was part of this, a hidden player. The yacht rocked, waves slapping against its hull. She pressed closer, glass cold against her cheek. David held a folder, paper spilling onto a table. Photos scattered, faces of girls, young and terrified. Zara's stomach churned, bile rising in her throat. One photo showed the girl she had freed. Another showed Layla, her eyes hollow and scared. Zara's hands shook, rage mixing with fear. David's voice rose, sharp and commanding. "Amir's getting sloppy. We need to move them." The stranger nodded, his hand on a gun. Zara's pulse raced, her body frozen in place. The yacht's interior smelled of polish and fear. A faint cry echoed, muffled but close. Her eyes darted, searching for source. A trapdoor lay in the deck, barely visible. She crawled toward it, her hands trembling violently. The handle was rusted, cold under her fingers. She pulled, the door groaning as it opened. Darkness yawned below, a void of secrets. The cry came again, weak but desperate. Zara's heart pounded, urging her to act. She descended, the ladder creaking under her weight. The air below was damp, heavy with mold. Her feet hit the floor, cold and uneven. A girl sat in the corner, bound and shivering. It was Layla, her face bruised but alive. Zara's breath caught, relief flooding her chest. Layla's eyes widened, recognition sparking in them. Zara knelt, her fingers fumbling with the ropes. The knots were tight, cutting into Layla's wrists. Footsteps thudded above, heavy and urgent. Zara's hands shook, urgency driving her faster. Layla whispered, her voice hoarse and broken. "He lied to me, too. It's all a trap." Zara's heart sank, the words searing her mind. The ropes loosened, Layla's hands falling free. The trapdoor above slammed shut, locking them in. Zara's blood ran cold, panic gripping her. Footsteps circled the deck, deliberate and slow. David's voice called out, calm but deadly. "You're in over your head, Zara," he said. Her uncle's betrayal stung, sharp and raw. Layla grabbed her arm, her grip surprisingly strong. "There's another way out," Layla whispered urgently. She pointed to a hatch, hidden in shadow. Zara's eyes adjusted, spotting the rusted outline. They crawled toward it, the floor slimy beneath them. The yacht rocked, water sloshing against the hull. Her fingers pried at the hatch, metal groaning. It opened, revealing a narrow tunnel to the sea. The air was cold, thick with salt and rust. Layla went first, her movements weak but determined. Zara followed, her heart pounding in her ears. The tunnel was tight, walls pressing against her. Water dripped, cold and slick on her skin. They emerged outside, the marina dark and quiet. Waves crashed, their roar drowning out her thoughts. Layla stumbled, her legs barely holding her. Zara caught her, the girl's weight heavy against her. They ran, the dock slippery underfoot. Lights flashed in the distance, police or worse. Zara's mind raced, David's face haunting her. How had her uncle become this monster? The marina's air was sharp, cutting her lungs. They ducked behind a boat, its hull cold. Layla's breath was ragged, her eyes wild. "He runs it all," Layla said, voice shaking. "Amir is just a puppet, a charming mask." Zara's world tilted, the twist shattering her reality. David was a mastermind, not a mirror. Her uncle, the man who read her bedtime stories. Now he trafficked lives, hid girls in shadows. Her chest tightened, betrayal mixing with horror. Layla grabbed her hand, pulling her forward. "We cannot stop now," Layla said firmly. The marina's lights dimmed, power flickering out. Zara's heart raced, darkness swallowing them whole. Footsteps echoed again, closer than before. A flashlight beam swept, grazing their hiding spot. Zara held her breath, her body trembling. Layla's hand was cold, clinging to hers. The beam passed, but the footsteps lingered. David's voice called out, chilling and close. "I know you're here, Zara," he said softly. Her skin prickled, fear rooting her in place. Layla tugged her, pointing to a small boat. They climbed aboard, its deck slick with dew. The engine sputtered, coughing to life. Zara's hand shook, steering into the dark. The sea was vast, waves crashing around them. Dubai's skyline faded, a glittering lie behind. Layla slumped, her strength fading fast. Zara's mind churned, new questions burning inside. Who else was involved in David's network? Was the man with the red scarf a trap? The boat rocked, salt spray stinging her face. Her phone was gone, her only link severed. The anonymous texts, the warnings, the clues. Who was helping her, and why now? The sea stretched endless, a void of unknowns. Layla's eyes closed, her breathing shallow and weak. Zara's heart pounded, the truth still out of reach. The boat drifted, carried by the current. Something loomed ahead, a shadow on the water. Another yacht, its lights dark and silent. Zara's breath caught, danger circling closer. The story was not over, only beginning.